Pauper Poison Storm battle. We're using Infectious Inquiry to poison the opponent and then proliferate those counters using Experimental Augury. But today we have Secret Check to improve this sweet combo. Let's go check it out. This is Pauper Poison Storm. It is my stock deck list that we are not playing today. I will show you the one we are playing in just a moment, but bear with me. I would like to explain how this deck works first. So you're really a deck that looks to poison the opponent using Infectious Inquiry and then play proliferate spells like Steady Progress, Contentious Plan, Experimental Augury, and Vivisurgeon's Insight. But you're really a big mana engine deck that uses Hickory Woodlot, Peat Bog, and Suppress and Scary with those depletion counters on them, so that way you could tap for 2 mana. And then you proliferate, so that way your lands never run out of counters. Additionally, you have Everflowing Chalice and Pented Prism that also have counters on them that make mana. Okay, and when things are going smoothly, you know, you're proliferating, you're making mana, everything's good. But the games that you lose, you're often finding the top end of the deck. So Vivisurgeon's Insight, Lauren Revealed, and Deep Analysis, and you're getting stuck not being able to cast those spells. So I've been looking for a way of fixing this for a while. And in the Storm Discord, I posted probably 6 months to 8 months ago that I wanted to play Manamorphose. And Manamorphose over Lotus Petal, because Lotus Petal doesn't really work super well in this deck. Yeah, it makes blue mana on the combo turn, but it just doesn't feel great. And I've talked about in previous videos how great Snap is because it untaps multiple copies of Surprise and Scary, which makes more blue mana. So you could, you know, use a Hickory Woodlot and a Surprise and Scary to cast the Snap and then untap 2 Surprise and Scaries, and all of a sudden you're up a bunch of blue mana. So blue mana is really good, and that's sort of why you play Lotus Petal, because it makes a blue mana for free. But ultimately, it's another stop in the deck because it doesn't proliferate and it doesn't draw cards. So I've never loved Lotus Petal here. So what are we going to do today instead? Well, this is the deck list that we're actually playing. There's no Lotus Petal, and then there's no Everflowing Chalice. So instead of that, you're running 4 copies of Thirsting Roots. And if you're unfamiliar with this card, for 1 green mana, you could search your deck for a basic land and put it to your hand. Or for 1 green, you can proliferate. So that way, early game, you can tap your lands before your whole engine is going to get ahead. We like that quite a bit. And obviously, you can use it late to proliferate the poison counters that also helps you win the game. Additionally, we're playing Manamorphose. So like Snap, you can convert a land like Sandstone Needle or Hickory Woodlot into blue mana that allows you to keep moving, which is the job of Lotus Petal, except Manamorphose draws a card. So this innovation comes from Cosmic Charles of Magic Online. Well, I've been posting about Manamorphose in the Storm Discord for, I'm telling you, over half a year. But Cosmic Charles figured out that you want to combine Thirsting Roost and Manamorphose, so credit to them. And that's really what I'm excited to play today. So instead of running 16 lands, we're running 17 because we're not playing the Everflowing Chalice. We are playing Thirsting Roost and Manamorphose, and, you know, no Deep Analysis. With Manamorphose in the deck, you don't need to run this clunky draw spell because we're not running Lotus Petal. So it's just going to be more smooth, more consistent. That's the idea. On top of that, we're splitting the mana base a little bit. And instead of 4 Peat Bog, we're running 2 Sandstone Needle. That helps you cast your Manamorphose, but also gives you more red mana, which allows you to play Pyroblast in the sideboard as a secondary counter spell to Dispel. So instead of running clunky cards like, what is it called? Bring the Ending, you could just play Pyroblast, and I think that makes the deck a lot better. So I am all for these changes. I truly believe that Pauper Poison Storm just got leveled up. Let's see if that's true in the matches. I will see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Round number 1, we're on the play, and I didn't mention this in the deck tech, but part of the reason I'm so excited to play this deck today is that burn is everywhere in Pauper, either mono red or the Madness Rakdos burn deck. It just seems to be, you know, everywhere. And right now, I want to be playing a deck that has main deck Weather the Storm, so I think it makes it a pretty good inclusion. Right after the unbanning of High Tide, it introduced a deck to the format that was not only faster than Poison Storm, but also didn't care about the life total thing. High Tide is still around, but it's not nearly as popular as it was. And with Burn coming to the forefront of the format, I think that Poison Storm is primed to make a comeback. So let's see if that's true today. We will play first turn Peat Bog and pass. So on turn 2, I can either play Hickory Woodlot, or I can cycle Lorien Revealed and play a Pented Prism. My concern with that line is that I'd be losing a powerful draw spell when her hand doesn't do a whole lot. I do think Manamorphose is better than Lotus Petal here, though, and Urza's Mine and an Expedition map. Okay, so they could be Altertron, or they could just be like 5-color Domaintron. I'll play the Hickory Woodlot. I think if we were facing a faster deck, I might consider playing out the Lorien Revealed. But I think next turn I can play 2 copies of Pented Prism, I can play another Hickory Woodlot, and everything will be fine. Alright, so they're going to have Tron on turn 3. That's scary. Ooh, they're not using the map. Interesting. We draw an island. We'll play Pented Prism for 2. And another Pented Prism for 2 energy counters. And the Hickory Woodlot. Pass the turn. And now they use the Expedition map. They grab an Urza's Tower. Golem Foundry. So they are Altertron. Okay. Not really a matchup that cares about Weather the Storm either. And I found an Experimental Augury that's pretty good here. So we'll tap the Hickory Woodlot, use 1 counter on the Pented Prism. We'll start by playing Pented Prism. And now I will use the Experimental Augury. And this will level up all of my artifacts, but because they're not poisoned yet, it's not perfect. And I find the Infectious Inquiry. We'll put those on the bottom, level up our stuff. Wonderful. And now I'll tap the Peat Bog and use 1 counter from the Pented Prism to play Infectious Inquiry. When you have multiple Pented Prisms like this, Thirsting Roots becomes like a Dark Ritual. So I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to make a green. We'll play Thirsting Roots. And now we'll Proliferate. And because I have Pented Prisms in play, this is 1 green mana that makes 3 mana. So this is actually just Pauper Dark Ritual as green. The green Dark Ritual, Thirsting Roots. I'll click Done. So they have 2 poison now. And I can hardcast the Lorien Revealed. I could also cycle the Manamorphose, but I don't think I want to here. Play the Lorien Revealed. We draw Contentious Plan and Vivisurgent's Insight. So once again, in the situation we're in with multiple copies of Pented Prism, this Contentious Plan makes a mana. So we will do that because I have triple Pented Prism. Well, now we find Experimental Augury. We should probably play that. And now they'll go to 4 poison. We find Steady Progress. I think Thirsting Roots would be better here. That's crazy. Thirsting Roots is better than Steady Progress in this spot. Wow. Okay. So far, I'm very impressed by Thirsting Roots. So that brings them up to 4 poison. Well, Thirsting Roots. This feels very good. We will Proliferate. They go to 5 poison. Holy moly. And now we can play the Insight. So one of these will go down to 1 counter, but I still have 5 mana and Pented Prisms here. And then we Proliferate again, so it actually goes up to 8 mana. They have 6 poison. I must have missed a Pented Prism here because this should have another one on there. Whoops. We'll Proliferate again. I apparently denied myself a mana there. So now they go to 7 poison. We will play Manamorphose. We'll do blue, red, Augury. Let's Manamorphose again. Blue, red. Another Augury. Let's go. I think we got it. Infectious Inquiry. Wow, so far the changes here in match 1, game 1 look incredible. And now I can play another Experimental Augury. Take Lorien Revealed. Wow. Alright, so now they're at 8 poison. We'll play Infectious Inquiry. This brings them up to 9. I did not draw a Proliferate spell, so let's play the Lorien Revealed. 5 mana, play Lorien Revealed. And that will do it. So they will go to 10 poison. That was a sweet one. Holy moly! I love it. Wow. That was awesome. Okay, so this isn't an amazing... Like, I guess I could bring in Dispel to hope to like clip a crop rotation or something. Like, look at our sideboard. We are not set up for this matchup. So like Breath Weapon's bad. Weather the Storm isn't very good. Like they do play some number of creatures, so like Snap might be better than a Weather. I think we just try this. I mean, I don't love Dispel or Snap, but it's better than cards that do actual nothing. Game number 2, we're on the draw. Here I've opened up a no lander, so I think we are forced to send this one back. Mulligan, keep, and we'll bottom snap. They play a Conduit Pylons, okay. Puts a Mirror Retriever to the graveyard. Pretty good for them. We'll play Hickory Woodlot, pass the turn. Urza's Tower, and they play an Ichor Wellspring. I could play the Island Pented Prism and then Contentious Plan. I'm wondering if that's actually the right move, or if I should just get my... Yeah, I just want the mana lands in play, so I'll pass. Next turn I can play Pented Prism and then start chaining Proliferate spells and level up our lands. I think that's just better. They have Urza's Power Plant, Thirsting Roots! What a great one. Okay, so we'll play Pented Prism, 2 mana floating. We will make a blue, and let's Contentious Plan. Level up our stuff. Draw a random card. Surprise and Scary. Let's Contentious Plan. Level up our stuff. And another land. Pass the turn. And step the Eviscerator's Insight, sacrificing the Ichor Wellspring. So we are a little flooded right now. Ideally, I would find like a Vivisurgeon's Insight, so that way we can start to convert some of these cards into things that are more useful. They play another Conduit Pylon, so they did not find the third Tron piece, which would be Urza's Mine to complete the trio. They surveil away an Ichor Wellspring, and they have a crop rotation, so they do have it. If I had a Dispel, that would have been a great time to play it, but I don't, so... C'est la vie. And now they play a Mirror Retriever, green mana, for another crop rotation. Okay. For an Urza's Tower, 5 mana. Ashnod's Altar. Okay, so now they have infinite Mirror Retriever loops. So the question is, do they have anything to do with it? So they can get back the other Mirror Retriever, but they need more, like, they have to have something to do with this, so they need a Petal or the Golem Foundry, I believe it's called. And there's the Golem Foundry, but they can't play another Mirror Retriever right now. So they're telling me I have to win. And there's the Dispel, just way too late. So I think I'm supposed to start on the Experimental Augury. We'll take Steady Progress. No, Manamorphose. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll Manamorphose. Blue. Steady Progress, okay. Thirsting Roots. So we're stuck with a hand that just doesn't do anything here. Pass the turn. And it's not really Thirsting Roots' fault. Like, these would be Everflowing Chalices, for example. So, like, I just don't think it's really the fault of these cards. Alright, so our opponent has infinite power, and I have nothing in hand. Rather than show them that I have Dispel by countering an Eviscerator's Insight, I would like to just go to the next game and keep that Dispel hidden. Let's try it again. On the play. Alright, so can't keep that, mulligan. I mean, I need to draw blue mana. I think we keep this, get rid of the snap. Play Peat Bog, pass the turn. They play an Urza's Mine, Manamorphose, play the Needle, pass. So Morphos was a good draw because next turn I could play Vivisurgeon's Insight, Prophetic Prism. So that would give them green mana. So I could, in theory, hold open Dispel for a crop rotation, or I can play the Insight. I don't know what to do here. They're not guaranteed to play a crop rotation. I think I'm going to pass. It might be the coward's move, but I think I'd rather potentially stop a crop rotation here. Conduit Pylons, okay. They kept a card on top of their deck. Ashnod's Altar, sure. Another Manamorphose. Let's play our Forest. I'll tap the Sandstone Needle for Manamorphose. Definitely better than Lotus Petal in this spot because I'm able to do something with Sandstone Needle that I couldn't do otherwise. And now we'll play Insight. Level up. Pass. So I found Infectious Inquiry. That's a good start. Hers is mine. And they have map. Okay. They use the map. Interesting that you played mine because you could have played Power Plant this turn. Contentious Plan. Let's start by playing Infectious Inquiry. That's the first poison. Augury. And another Infectious Inquiry. We'll play our island. And go to cleanup. Discard a Lorien Revealed. Conduit Pylons. They have 5 cards in hand. Mirror Retriever. So now they need another Mirror Retriever and then a payoff. Another Ashnod's Altar. I don't care about that. End step, let's Experimental Augury. Take Experimental Augury. Proliferate. We'll tap the Sandstone Needle. Let's play Manamorphose. Make blue. Play Experimental Augury. Ooh, I think it's Thirsting Roots? I could be wrong. But it looks like my blue mana is going to be choked up next turn. So I think Thirsting Roots is the pick. They go to 3 poison. And if I try to snap the Mirror Retriever, they can just sacrifice it. So that's not even that great. Pented Prism was an amazing find here. Alright, so we'll start with the Pented Prism. And let's Thirsting Roots. They're casting something. Ancient Grudge. I'll make blue mana in response. They have the Urza's Mine untapped, so they could flashback the Ancient Grudge, which is why I'm not playing Dispel. So now we Proliferate. They go to 4 poison. I'll play a Contentious Plan. They go to 5 poison. Another Dispel. We'll play another Contentious Plan. They go to 6 poison. Okay. So it's worth noting I have both islands in play. I cannot cycle Lorien Revealed for another blue. Prophetic Prism, sure. Energy Refractor. They have 3 cards in their hand. They play a basic Swamp. 2 cards remain. They swing for 1. We'll go to 17. Pented Prism. So I could try to play this out again. I just don't know if it's a good idea. We'll start with Infectious Inquiry. So this brings them up to 7 poison. I think I'm going to go to cleanup here. And we'll just discard the Pented Prism. So I could have played another Infectious Inquiry or Steady Progress. I want to hold open, double the Spell Snap. So they'll draw another card with Prophetic Prism. And another Prophetic Prism. 3 cards in their hand. They have not played an instant all game outside of Ancient Grudge. Alright, Fanatical Offering. I will dispel this. I will take 1. They play another Tron piece. They have 1 card in hand. I'll snap the Mirror Retriever because if they let it resolve, I can then Steady Progress on the end step. They did let it resolve. I'll play Steady Progress. So now I can put them up to 8 poison. And I drew another Infectious Inquiry, so that's the game. Play Infectious Inquiry. Play Infectious Inquiry. We got it. That is match number 1, a nail biter. But you got to see the power of Manamorphose and Thirsting Roots here in the first round. Let's hopefully be able to do the same thing in the second. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're facing Terminus 0, which is funny because I spent most of last night and this morning studying Wall's combo deck list so that way I could record it. I'll be honest with you, I did not play it very well earlier today, and I decided to just drop the league. So I am familiar with what their deck list looks like. It's a very highly tuned combo Walls list. And here I have a hand with no depletion land in it, and it's extremely slow and clunky. You do have the Infectious Inquiry, but I don't think that this hand is actually good enough. I'm going to send it back. We'll keep this and get rid of Manamorphose. It might be too slow against Walls. We'll find out. Cerulean Caretaker. We'll play Island, pass. Another Cerulean Caretaker. And no other play, which is good for me. Steady Progress. I'll play Island, pass the turn. Maybe I'll get them to think that I'm high tide and they'll play around Snap for a little bit longer. Who knows? Aquarian Ranger. That would have been a good draw for them last turn, so that way they could use these Cerulean Caretakers more effectively. But still a good draw on this turn, and now they can make 3 mana for an Axebane Guardian. So they're threatening lethal. We'll Experimental Augury, take the Pented Prism. I'm in trouble here. If I don't find Snap, I could be dead. Snap? Come on. I know there's only 2 of them, but it would be good here. Not Snap. We'll play the Pented Prism. Pass the turn. Have to really hope they don't have it here. They have a ton of mana. Another Axebane Guardian. Sure. And they do have it. So they'll have infinite mana. The question is, do they have the payoff? Okay, so now they can make infinite mana. I wish I had draws like this when I was trying to record earlier. Oh, well. And the Shield Wall Sentinel will do it. We can go to the next game. Alright, that's a little bit of a bummer. So we want the other snaps, but also Pyroblast. What we don't want is Weather the Storm. It's not particularly good here. And I actually don't love the Breath Weapon either. So this seems like pretty easy sideboarding to me. Let's try it again. On the play. Much better hand this time. Keep. Oh, another nice thing about Manamorphose. You could play turn 1 Hickory Woodlot, turn 2 Morphose into Pented Prism. That is very nice. They take a mulligan. We'll play Hickory Woodlot, pass. They play Forest into Cerulean Caretaker. We'll play the Surprise and Scary. Let's Morphose. We'll do blue-green. Play the Pented Prism. Pass the turn. They play a land. Wall of Roots. Overgrown Battlement. Very good start. This is one of their better starts. 3 cards left in their hand. Pyroblast, that's good. So I could start by playing Infectious Inquiry. I could use the Pented Prism and the Surprise and Scary. If I do that, I have to lose a mana source. So I think what I'm actually going to do here is start with a Thirsting Roots. I lose 1 Proliferate for winning later, but it means I get to keep all of my mana sources. And I think that's just better. And now I will play... Yeah, I guess it's Infectious Inquiry. We drew the Snap. Cycle Lorien Revealed. Play Island. Let's snap the Overgrown Battlement, untap our lands. And now we can steady progress. They'll go to 2 poison. I'll proliferate the negative counter on the Wall of Roots as well. Pass the turn. They play Aquarian Ranger. And now they untap the Cerulean Caretaker. 4 mana, including a red. They use the Wall of Roots for a mana here. For the Tuk Tuk Rumble Fort, sure. And Overgrown Battlement. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Winding Way. 2 Axebane Guardians and a Llanowar Elves. So they played a Wall of Roots, so I know their entire hand now. They don't have the win. We find Experimental Augury. I think I'd just like to play the Vivisurgeon's Insight here. Proliferate on their Wall of Roots. Okay. What can I do? I think I'd like to play another Pented Prism. And then we can use Thirsting Roots to proliferate. This will kill the Wall of Roots. And it will level up my Pented Prism. So once again, Thirsting Roots is just Lotus Petal here. And then we can snap the Tuk Tuk Rumble Fort. Untap these 2 lands. Tap for mana. Play Experimental Augury. Take another Experimental Augury. And now we proliferate. And the nice thing here is because we have 2 Pented Prisms, these Auguries are essentially free. Play another. We hit another Augury, we'll take that. Proliferate. They go to 6 poison. We'll play another Experimental Augury. Take the Vivisurgeon's Insight. And now they go to 7 poison. I'll pass the turn. So you could play an Insight here. That's a legal play. But you would have to drain one of your Pented Prisms of all of its counters, and that's not worth it to me. They play an Axebane Guardian. And another Axebane Guardian. And now they untap the Battlement for a 3rd Axebane Guardian. And now they're passing. Sure. Surprise and Scary, we'll play that. Play the Vivisurgeon's Insight. Proliferate them up to 8 poison. And we just drew into the win. So I never showed them the Pyroblast this game either, which is nice. Contentious Plan. Pyroblast is much better than the other counter I was playing. Bring the Ending in this matchup, I think. because they make so much mana. And yeah, and now we could just play the Inquiry. And that's the ball game. Okay, game 3 on the draw now. No changes. This hand is interesting. I would really like to draw another land. I will keep it, but this could end up biting me in the butt. Turn 1 Cerulean Caretaker. If I hit another land, this hand becomes incredible. Another Pented Prism. Okay. They have turn 2 Overgrown Battlement. Land? No land. Oh, I can't play the Manamorphose here. I got excited for a split second. I think I just have to Augury. And I did not hit the land. Take another Augury and Proliferate. I think I have to discard a Pented Prism. I'm in trouble. That was a lot of looks to not hit. Shield Wall Sentinel. They grab Drift of Phantasms. Ooh, so they have the Overgrown Battlement, so now they don't need... So now they're just representing lethal. Pass the turn. Because they have the Battlement plus Leaf Color, so they don't even need Axebane Guardian. They play Cerulean Caretaker. Lead the Stampede. Wall of Roots, Quirion Ranger, Cerulean Caretaker. So they have everything they need now to jam. Yeah, me stumbling here gave them the win. They play another Wall of Roots. They transmute Drift of Phantasms. Yep. That's a bummer. They got it. That's a heartbreaker. I think my hand was really good. I just needed to hit the land in the first 2 draw steps and we didn't. That's so disappointing. Bummer. We're now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Well, I found our lands here in match number 3. I'm on the draw. Is it crazy that I'm considering keeping this? I think you do. But, I mean, I get that it's really, really land heavy. But you have tons of mana, which is usually the bottleneck in this deck. So I think we're going to try it. What's a bummer is, I mean, you might not believe me after we just lost. I believe that Walls is a good matchup for Poison Storm, especially post-board when you get the 4 snaps in Pyroblast. It didn't work out that way, and sometimes you do lose in Magic. Looks like we're facing mono red, and I drew another land. That's not good. Pass. They play land number 2, grab the prize, discarding Highway Robbery. So they're on the mono red Madness build that plays a bunch of Fire Blast, Kessig Flame Breathers, things like that. Weather the Storm, that's good. They play land number 3. They attack for 1. I'll go to 15. Another land. We'll play Peat Bog and pass. They use the blood token, discarding a mountain. Lightning Bolt, I go to 12. Grab the prize. Discards Faithless, looting him at 10. They have 3 cards. They swing for 1. I'll go to 9. Pented Prism. Let's start by playing Pented Prism. Play the Surprise and Scary. Play Steady Progress. Proliferate. We drew an Insight, that's very good. I'll now snap the Epicure. Untap, untap. And I can now play the Insight. Proliferate. And then I'm going to burn my Pented Prism here so that way I can weather the storm. Gain 15. So my Pented Prism in play is effectively useless. That said, I'm above 20 life, which is really all that matters right now. They play a Kessig Flame Breather and the Voldaren Epicure. I'm back at 22. Let's play Infectious Inquiry. I go to 20. We drew another Inquiry. Okay. We'll play Manamorphose. Black, blue. So I have 5 total mana. I feel like I don't need to Infectious Inquiry again this turn. So let's just play the Hickory Woodlot. And we'll Steady Progress to maximize our mana. Proliferate on them. And Weather the Storm to gain 12. I'm at 32 now. They play a Gutter Snipe. Sure. I'm at 30. They have 2 cards in their hand. We'll play a Pented Prism. Let's play Surprise and Scary. And then Experimental Augury. Take the Contentious Plan. Proliferate. Play the Contentious Plan. Another Contentious Plan. Okay. We'll play that. They'll go to 5 poison. Breath Weapon. Well, that kills the Gutter Snipe. We'll play Breath Weapon. Pass the turn. They have land number 4. They swing for 1. Ouch. We drew a land. We'll play Lorien Revealed. Floating 1 green. We find Manamorphose and another Infectious Inquiry. I will play Infectious Inquiry. That brings me down to 27. Let's Manamorphose. We'll do green, red. Weather the Storm. I love it. Manamorphose. Black, green. And another weather. Okay. Let's play Infectious Inquiry. This will bring them up to 7 poison. Play the basic island. Let's weather the storm. So we'll gain 18 life here up to 43 and pass. Lava Dart, you got it. They flashback Faithless Looting. Discards a Fiery Temper. They discarded Lava Dart and Fire Blast. I can't imagine that those are things they want to discard. We will begin with a Prologue to Phyresis. They go up to 8 poison. Play Contentious Plan. This brings them up to 9. And then these Vivisurgeon's Insight will end it. Okay, so that is game number 1. So this build that they're on plays less small dorks. So you could, like, there's an argument for not bringing in a bunch of weathers. That's what I'm trying to say here. I kind of like a bunch of, not weathers, breath weapons. We already have Weather the Storm in our main deck. But there's an argument for not having a bunch of breath weapons because they play like Sneaky Snackers, the Gutter Snipes, and Voldaren Epicure, and that's all it hits. But I think that's probably better than the snaps. Plus, if you have multiple breath weapons, you could kill the Kessig Flame Breathers anyway. You could also bring in Dispels for their Pyroblasts. That's another thing you could do. I'm just going to try this. I don't really want to be like sitting on Dispel hoping to counter a Pyroblast. That seems a little foolish to me. Good hand. We'll keep. Just Mountain and pass the turn. Play Hickory Woodlot. Pass. Land and Kessig Flame Breather, a creature that lives through the breath weapon. We'll play Sandstone Needle. Pass the turn. Another Kessig Flame Breather. Okay. I will cycle Lorien Revealed. Grab an island. Play it. And let's Experimental Augury. Looks like they're going to Pyroblast. Okay. I will Manamorphose. Green, red. Manamorphose again. Red, green. Weather the Storm. I'll gain 15 life. Drawing the basic swamp there was very good. Chain Lightning, ouch. Deals me 5 total. Lava Dart deals me 3. They have 2 cards left in their hand. They swing. Another weather. Okay. Cast the Pented Prism. Pass the turn. Yeah, I've loved the Manamorphose mana base so far. Smash to Smithereens. I don't love that. Okay, I think I'm going to double weather here just to buy time. So they still have 2 cards in their hand. I'm at 32. And now they Lightning Bolt me. I'm at 27. They attack. I go to 25. Thirsting Roots is not a good draw here. Voldaren Epicure. They discard a Sneaky Snacker. And another Epicure. Okay. So I will go to 21. Augury. Okay, that's a good hit. Take the Hickory Woodlot. And now I'll Proliferate on my land. They are not poisoned yet. We'll play the Hickory Woodlot. Pass. They use the Blood Token, discarding a mountain. They swing for 4. I go to 17. Experimental Augury. Let's play it. So I could try to avoid Pented Prism to shut off any remaining copies of Smash to Smithereens. I think it's the Prism. The deck just works better when I have Pented Prism. We'll tap, play the Pented Prism. And I think I'll Breath Weapon here. It's just I'm starting to get low on life, and there's only 1 more Weather the Storm. They swing for 2. This knocks me down to 15. Fiery Temper. They have a Lava Dart in the graveyard that they can still play. That's 3 damage. Another Pented Prism. We'll play that. I pretty much have to find the other weather this turn. We will Proliferate. Okay. Blue. Blue. Play the Vivisurgeon's Insight. And I found the 4th weather. Wow. Okay. We will Steady Progress. Proliferate again. Play the land. And weather. So another 15 life. This brings me up to 25. Okay. I'm all out of Weather the Storms. They play land number 4. I think they probably should have held that. Like, they're a Faithless Looting deck that has blood tokens and highway robberies. Like, you don't need land 4. Play Infectious Inquiry down to 21. Play Surprise and Scary. Pass the turn. So the hit here brings me down to 19. They have 2 cards in hand. Steady Progress. I'm going to Infectious Inquiry. I just think I need to draw more cards here. I know that I don't have any Weather the Storms left, but I think if I don't do it, I'm just not doing anything the rest of the game. Contentious Plan. Brings them up to 2 poison. Play Vivisurgeon's Insight. They go up to 4 poison. Play Contentious Plan. They go up to 5 poison here. I'm unlikely to win in this spot, but I can get pretty close. Peat Bog. Play Experimental Augury. It's probably the Insight. They go up to 6 poison. Play the Steady Progress. They go up to 7. Thirsting Roots. That's pretty good. Ah, we're actually going to get really close this game. This brings them up to 8 poison. So if the Vivisurgeon's Insight hits 1 of 2 Thirsting Roots, we win. I'm going to take the shot. Or it could hit a 2-mana Proliferate spell. So there's actually a bunch of hits. We'll play the Insight. And I hit the Thirsting Roots. Wow, we pulled it off. Thirsting Roots. Proliferate. Yeah, Thirsting Roots has just been incredible. Okay, we're now 2-1. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Time for the 4th match. We are on the play. Yeah, I'll try this. It's fine. We're lacking blue mana, but I do have the Lorien revealed. Like, I think that this is going to be a fine keep. We'll lead on Hickory Woodlot and pass the turn. Island, okay. Play a Peat Bog, send it back. They play a Brainstorm, and they miss on their land. They're on High Tide. This is not a good matchup for us. I will say that. We will play Infectious Inquiry, play Sandstone Needle, cycle Lorien Revealed for a blue. Pass the turn. Yeah, this is not a matchup I wanted to play today. That is for certain. They did not have an upkeep Lorien Revealed to shuffle their deck. Are you Brainstorm locked? And in fact, I talked about this in a video recently. I talked about why Brainstorm is so bad. And a lot of the people in the comment section were tearing me apart, being like, you just don't know how to use Brainstorm. Yeah, the person that's been playing Magic for 20 plus years of combo decks doesn't know how to cast Brainstorm. But, that's fine. So they are Brainstorm locked. They just played a Preordain and put 2 cards on the bottom. They play a land. We will play Pented Prism, use 1 counter here, and we'll play Experimental Augury, take the Infectious Inquiry, Proliferate, and now I will Infectious Inquiry, floating a green. They're at 3 poison. Play a Contentious Plan. They go to 4 poison. Pass the turn. I tied, so they're going for it. Spicy. Hidden Strings. Another High Tide. Okay. I mean, if you've got it, you've got it. Peer Through Depths. Double Splice Psychic Puppetry. Yeah, I mean, there's a real chance they have it. They find Muddle the Mixture. Okay. I mean, I just need to let them play it out at this point, but double High Tide plus double Psychic Puppetry, they likely have the win. They Merchant Scroll. But there's always the chance this deck could fizzle, so we just have to sit here. I stand by my point about Brainstorm, though. They Peer Through Depths. And they find a Hidden Strings. Hidden Strings. They have 4 cards in hand. 2 of them are Psychic Puppetries, and 1 of them is a Muddle the Mixture that they now transmute for an Ideas Unbound. And they have not played a land yet, so they could always play a land later. So what I'm hoping for is that they brick on action spells. That is the best case scenario. They Ideas Unbound here, untapping 2. They have 6 cards in their hand. They play land 3. Brainstorm. And here, a Ponder would have been better than a Brainstorm, just because it digs deeper for your next action spell. Pieces of the Puzzle, they hit a Deep Analysis. They flash back the Deep Analysis, 7 cards in their hand. So they probably have it at this point. Another Ideas Unbound. Preordain. They put 2 cards on the top. Another Ideas Unbound. Okay. Hidden Strings. Preordain. And another Brainstorm. High Tide number 3. And Pieces of the Puzzle. Peer Through Depths. So at this point, they should have cycled through their entire library. They transmute Muddle the Mixture for another Ideas Unbound. Preordain again. So these lists, we haven't seen, what is it called? Flood of Recollection. So that means that they're on double Stream of Thought, which gives you an infinite loop at the end. I think that Flood of Recollection is better, but because we haven't seen one yet, they're just playing the Kali Kai's deck list, which plays the 2 streams. Okay. And they have Stream of Thought. I will just pick it up. We can go to the next one. Okay, so we lost game number 1. Caught a break in the beginning, but then they got me. We'll bring in Pyroblast and Dispel. What we don't need is Snap or Weather the Storm. We also don't need Breath Weapon. Is there anything else I would like in here instead of... I don't think so. None of these cards are helpful, so I have to put a dead card in my deck. I guess 1 Weather? I don't... Like, they don't play Snap targets. Well, I guess some lists play, like, a creature in the sideboard. So we could leave in 1 Snap. Get rid of the Weather. Like, so, I mean, they're probably not playing it, but there's, like, lists out there that play, like, Murmuring Mystic in the sideboard. What stinks is I think if we got to untap, I probably would have won on my turn 5. But they just happened to have the win. Game number 2 on the play. Sure, we'll keep. We'll play Sandstone Needle and pass. So by playing Needle on turn 1, I can then turn 2 play Swamp into Infectious Inquiry and get the ball rolling. Hickory Woodlot, let's play the Inquiry. Manamorphose and Contentious Plan. They Brainstorm, Island, and another Brainstorm. And now a Preordain. They put 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. Draw for turn, a Hickory Woodlot. So I could Experimental Augury here, or I can just set up their Suppress and Scary for next turn. I'm going to hope they don't have a turn 3. And if they do have a turn 3, what I can do is I can Manamorphose off of the Sandstone Needle in the Swamp, and then Experimental Augury. But you have to choose, am I trying to dig for Pyroblast or Dispel, which is scary. They play land number 3, 7 cards in their hand, and it looks like they're going to pass here. Thirsting Roots. I think I'll just play the Island. And let's Contentious Plan. Proliferate. We hit a Pyroblast, so if they don't have Giga Drowse, we have some interaction. They Peer Through Depths. Okay. And they find Giga Drowse. That's not good. They cycle Lorien Revealed. Okay. End step, let's Experimental Augury. None of these are good. We'll take the Mountain. They'll go up to 3 poison. Are you going to upkeep? Use this Giga Drowse? It looks like no. We find a Vivisurgeon's Insight. The problem is I don't have a win here. Play the Mountain and pass. And now they can just tap everything other than the Swamp and kill me? No, they don't. Interesting. Okay. So they're going to go to cleanup. Discards a Psychic Puppetry. Okay, so now they're going to Giga Drowse. So they are going to do the thing where they tap everything other than the Swamp. So that means they're going for it next turn. Let's Manamorphose in response. Make blue, blue. We draw a land. So, not a lot I can do here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they had the Giga Drowse. Do your thing, opponent. Also, like a Pented Prism would have been nice. So, they High Tide into Hidden Strings. The Ideas Unbound. Splicing, how many times? Twice, and they found another High Tide. So we're probably dead. Yep. They play land number 5. So mana is not the bottleneck. Cards are the bottleneck. Another Ideas Unbound. The odds that they fizzle from here are pretty low. Preordain. A 3rd Ideas Unbound. No, that's the 4th. Okay. They're making 18 mana. Lorien Revealed. High Tide. That's why you shouldn't tap all your islands at once. Peer Through Depths. Double Splice. They find Stream of Thought. So now they could shuffle in 4 copies of Ideas Unbound. They Merchant Scroll for another Peer Through Depths. They Merchant Scroll again for a Psychic Puppetry. And the world's their oyster at this point. Another Merchant Scroll for another Peer Through Depths. And they just have the win, so I'm going to pick it up. We lost. Unfortunate, but I knew coming into this league that I did not want to face High Tide, and unfortunately we did. So now we're 2-2 with one match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final round, we're on the draw. We've opened up a stellar hand I will keep. They play a Forest. Brain Ranger. Okay. Let's play the Surprise and Scary, pass the turn. Walls again, so now I can try to get revenge. So, I know that I lost the second match to Walls. I have to guess here. This is an incredibly favored match that I just did not win. So, we get a chance at, proving that here again. I'll play the Hickory Woodlot, pass the turn. Now, when I have the Snap in hand, you can actually just sit pretty and wait for them to try to enchant their creature or, do whatever. You don't have to just bounce an Overgrown Battlement because you can. They find 2 copies of Axebane Guardian and a Shield Wall Sentinel. Okay. We'll play another copy of Surprise and Scary. And let's play the Pented Prism. And I would like to Infectious Inquiry. Pass the turn. I think next turn, I'm going to try to have a turn that looks like a Storm turn. If I died here, I'd be incredibly surprised. You would need, like, Tuk Tuk Rumble Fort into the nuts, which isn't likely to happen. I suppose you could have, like, a Rachi Leaf Caller plus everything else. So maybe I could have died. So they untap the battlement, they tap it for 3, and a Winding Way. They play a Tinder Wall. I mean, we're trying to win on my turn, so that's what we're going to do here. I will begin by playing Basic Forest, and let's Thirsting Roots. So thirsty. And this is basically free when you have a Pented Prism in play. I've actually been incredibly impressed with Thirsting Roots this league. That's the big pickup for me here. I'll begin with a Contentious Plan. Target you. Infectious Inquiry. Let's Manamorphose. We'll make blue. And Experimental Augury, Vivisurgeon's Insight. They go up to 4 poison. So I could snap a Axebane Guardian here, and they would untap double Surprise and Scary, and then I could Insight with 3 counters on there. The problem is, what if they go for it and I don't find the only other snap? Like, it's just very risky. I think they're very unlikely to kill me if I just hold open snap. So instead of being greedy, I'm just going to pass the turn. They play a land, Cerulean Caretaker, Wall of Roots. They transmute Drift of Phantasms. Okay. So if I were in their seat, I would get another Drift of Phantasms here. They're just going straight for the win. Okay. I would get another Drift of Phantasms and then Reaping the Graves, getting them back, so that way you have some built-in protection. But maybe they already have it all. Who knows? I'm going to attempt a snap. I will untap my lands. And they have 13 available mana. If they have another Drift of Phantasms, they do. So now they can go get the Galvanic Alchemist. So they actually did just have everything in their hand. So now they can go grab a Reaping the Graves. Or they could just go get the Alchemist. So if they go get Alchemist, they need another way to deal me infinite damage. So their hand has to have the win in it already. So they have 3 cards. I think we know about Axebane Guardian, and then I don't know if we know any of the others. So you have infinite mana. Do you have a way to kill me? Overgrown Battlement. Okay, what's your last card? So you have infinite mana. And their last card was Shield Wall Sentinel. So they actually did have it all. Okay. We lose game number 1. Unfortunate. Bring in Snap. Bring in Pyroblast. Get rid of Weather the Storm. And Breath Weapon. Like, I could have tried to snap and then keep going. I just don't think I had enough resources to keep going was the issue. So, like, if I had snapped there, like, the odds are I passed the turn with a bunch of cards in my hand that don't do anything. Where we passed knowing our opponent had to have pretty much perfects, and then they actually did. So, sometimes you can make the right decision and still lose. Ooh, this hand is close. I'm going to mulligan. We'll keep and get rid of one Infectious Inquiry. Play the Needle, pass the turn. Forest into Quarian Ranger. I will Manamorphose, black, black, and Infectious Inquiry. Pass the turn. So we have Pyroblast, so I can actually just stop them from... I can counter both Freed from the Real and Galvanic Alchemist, so it's going to be tough to lose this one. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just going to be tough. We'll play Hickory Woodlot, pass the turn. They play an Axebane Guardian. Ouch. Another Snap. Let's Thirsting Roots. Proliferate. Level up our lands, poison them. They go to 2 poison, we'll pass the turn. Overgrown Battlement. They have 6 cards remaining in their hand. And another Axebane Guardian. They swing. Ouch, we go to 15. End step. Experimental Augury. Take the Steady Progress. They go up to 3 poison. Another Sandstone Needle. Alright, pass the turn. They play land number 4. Shield Wall Sentinel. So this can go grab a Drift of Phantasms. And they do. Galvanic Alchemist. So we need to let them choose what they want to bond with. Oh, I guess I can just Pyroblast here. I don't need to snap. Yeah, I mean, maybe I could have done that better. I don't know. And now they freed from the Real. I'll show them Pyroblast. I mean, they made a black. They must have Reaping the Graves too. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Walls players this league have sort of just nut drawn me, because when I played the deck earlier, I did not have these draws. The deck felt unplayable to me. Is this a Mirror Shell Crab? No, it's Reaping the Graves. Okay. So they're going to get back just the Galvanic Alchemist here. So they had triple ways to win this turn, which is just incredible. And now they can try it again. They can use the Quarian Ranger to untap. And I will snap the Axebane Guardian. Target the Axebane Guardian. Okay. And now they're going to go to combat, so I will take 1. End step, Steady Progress. They go to 4 poison. We draw an Insight, but I don't have double blue. I don't think that they can kill me anymore, so I will Experimental Augury. Take the Lorien Revealed. They go up to 5 poison. Cycle Lorien Revealed. Grab the basic. We'll play it. Pass the turn. I mean, they can kill me. They just have to attack for lethal the hard way. They lead the Stampede. Cerulean Caretaker. Oh, I didn't realize that Soulbond triggered on every creature entering. Oh, that's better than I thought. Okay. Maybe that's what I was missing the whole time. Interesting. So, do you... I guess they just have the win with the Galvanic Alchemist. Interesting. So I guess I learned something here, which is good. Because I own Walls, Japanese foil, and paper, and I don't think I ever realized that Soul Bond works on every creature that enters. So I guess if I want to live, I have to bounce the Tuk Tuk Rumble for right now. But I don't think that they've used the Quarian Ranger, which means that they could just replay the Rumble Fort and then I would lose. Yeah, bounce the Rumble Fort. Okay. And now they untap the Axebane Guardian. Yeah, so I mean, I learned something. I shouldn't have used the other Pyroblast. I should have used the snaps earlier and then saved the other Pyroblast for Galvanic Alchemist. So, I mean, it feels bad to lose, but I'd rather learn something than just, you know, lose and not improve myself at all. And I believe we already know that they have a Drift of Phantasms, so I'm dead. And I've definitely played this deck like a handful of times on the channel, and never had this come up, where I played other creatures post Galvanic Alchemist. Okay, so that makes the deck more resilient than I thought. For what it's worth, I stand by my point that I do feel like our opponent nut drew us a little bit. Yeah, and they have it here, I'll just concede. But they drew Freed from the Real, Galvanic Alchemist naturally, and then naturally had Reaping the Graves when they went to go for it. You know, losses happened. It's not the end of the world. In fact, like, I know that this league was a 2-3. I loved the deck list. Like, facing Walls twice and High Tide, like, who cares? Sometimes you lose. But I think we learned how good the Manamorphose and Thirsting Roost package is. I really believe that. I'm not just saying this for clicks or trying to get you to do anything. like the next time I play this deck, I'm playing Manamorphose and Thirsting Roots. Like I really do believe in it. I think what I'm beginning to understand or beginning to change in my head of, okay, right now in the Pauper metagame, is Breath Weapon a main deck card? Because that could be a third snap. Because I think now with the way the deck is constructed, you have turns that feel more like Storm turns, where with Thirsting Roots and Pented Prisms, where you really just go off. So I think a third main deck snap is actually better than the Breath Weapon. So I would like to see that change. Like I'd probably swap this Breath Weapon with the Cyborg Snap. Like just swap those two and call it a day. That would be my changes right now. I played the Reverend Silence today because I didn't know what else to put in there. That could be a Pyroblast or a Dispel for the matchups where you want to take out 4 Weather and 3 Snap. I did this earlier because I thought to myself, oh, there's no matchups where I want 7 interactions for blue decks, but there are. There's High Tide, and then the Ultratron deck exists. Not that you really want Pyroblast in a matchup, but I'm just saying there's matchups where you want to take 7 out. So I think I'd probably cut the Reverent Silence for a Dispel or Pyroblast 2. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I truly believe that this is the way forward. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have a great day, and as always, keep storming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. After you do that, open up our description where you can find all of our social media networks, including our Discord, where you can discuss today's deck in that Discord with me and tons of other combo masterminds. It's absolutely free to join, and it's certainly worth your while.